So we've had a little bit of an introduction to our paragraph, to our story for chapter 4, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce you the types of questions we're going to be looking at based on what we've just read today. Okay, so today's questions for retrieval practice, we're going to focus on our 5 W's. So our who, what, when, where, and why. Okay, so there's lots of different types of retrieval questions, and each week I'm going to focus on a different style of question, okay? But for this one specifically, it's just going to be our 5W questions. So here you can see some examples here of some of the questions that come up using our who, we have our what, and we have our why. So we've got 3 examples here. Now, the kinds of questions they might ask us are in this box on here, okay? So what is the name of the main character? Which part of the text tells you? Where, when is this story set? How do you know? How does the main character behave and speak and look? And what do you think is happening in this part of the story? Who is telling the story and how do you know? So those might be the different types of questions you might be asked, but they're all retrieval. So we've got to retrieve the information from the text, okay? So let's have a go at doing one together based on the pages that we've just looked at so that you understand a little bit more. So let's look at page 20, it's the beginning of chapter 3. Who does Sorrel think is going to capture them and put them in the zoo? So thinking about my success criteria, I first of all need to identify what my keywords are, what the question is actually asking me to do, and what answer it's looking for, okay? So I need to know who. So I'm looking for the name of someone or the name of something, okay? Now I'm linking this to something that Sorrel has said, so I need to find some information of what Sorrel has said, or maybe what Sorrel is thinking. Now keywords to help me, because I recognise this sentence. Keywords I'm going to be looking at is for capture and for zoo, okay? So these are going to be my 4 words that I need to think about. So I need to find some evidence that suggests that Sorrel is thinking that they're going to be captured and put in a zoo. So I need to find that part of my information in my text and be able to answer the question, which is who. Okay, so let's find this quote in the book. So there's Sorrel, and this is what she says. If we don't find somewhere pretty quick, they'll catch us and put us in the zoo. Now I'm going to have a look at the title. It says a big city and a small human being. Now we know that they're going off to this big city to find another rat that's going to help them, but we know that the city is full of humans. So let's have a think about what humans might have to do with a zoo. Well, we know that a zoo is where we put animals. Okay, so how do the animals then get to the zoo? Okay, well, they must be brought in by humans, okay, who are here to protect the animals and deliver them to the zoo. But the animals then aren't just left on their own in the zoo. So zoos are run by human beings. So by thinking about my general knowledge and thinking about the title and thinking about who they might be talking about, what information I've already learned before, I'm going to deduce that maybe she's talking about humans. Okay, so my answer would be animals tend to be found in zoos and are kept by humans. So this is where I'm thinking of the link is to human beings. This is my reasoning behind it. Therefore, the humans will capture them because they are animals and will put them in the zoo. Another spelling mistake. Miss Humphrey, this isn't good enough today. My apologies, year 5. So we here are deducing that it's going to be humans because we know that this city is full of human beings. And we know that if you're going to be put in a zoo, the only thing that can put them in a zoo is going to be human beings. Okay, so you guys are now going to have a go at doing this question on your own. Okay, so look at page 23 in front of you. It's for you guys on the screen as well. Okay, so your question is what 2 things could Firedrake smell when he sniffed the boy? So think about the question. Think about what keywords you might need to underline and look for in the text and what the question is actually asking you to do. Pause the video and have a go at answering that question. Okay, so if I'm going to highlight the key parts of my question, okay, I need to be thinking about the 2 things. So I'm looking for an answer that has 2 different parts to my answer, okay? I'm also looking at something that Firedrake is doing, so I need to find that character in my book. And it's something that he can smell, okay? So Firedrake smell is going to be my keyword, and I'm looking for 2 things, so I need 2 parts to my answer. Okay, so if I have a look at the text here, it says the dragon cautiously stretched his long neck out towards the boy and sniffed. So here I've associated the word sniffed with smell. Okay, so I know I'm somewhere along the right lines. But that specific sentence there doesn't give me the answer to my question because I know I'm looking for 2 things. So what do I need to do? Good, I need to read on a little bit further. Sorrel was right. He did smell of mouse droppings. Okay, so I've now identified one thing that this character smells of because it says here, he did smell of mouse droppings. But going back to my question stem, I need 2 things. Okay, I need to keep reading now. But there was also something else as well. A strange smell, the same smell that hung in the air outside. the smell of humans. Okay, now that key word there is there was something else as well, tells me it's going to be another thing that he's going to smell of. So now I'm going to go back to my questions as what two things could fire Drake smell? I'm going to go back on what I've looked at. So 1, smells of mouse droppings, and 2, smells of human beings. Okay, so if you see there, before I wrote my answer, I went back to double check what my question wanted me to look for, double checked I had my evidence before I wrote my answer. Okay. Now, your task is to have a go at completing some of these types of retrieval questions as well. Okay, now usually the 5 W's are the easier questions to be able to answer. Okay, now all of these questions are going to be related to the 4 pages that we've looked at. Please make sure you hang on to these 4 pages if you've printed them, because this chapter is a little bit longer this week, and should we do an activity at the end, you might need all the pages from the chapter. So don't get rid of any of the pages from chapter 4 at the moment. If you've finished all the other reading videos, you can get rid of chapters 1, 2 and 3 now that you've finished, but keep these ones for chapter 4. Once you've done that, I would like you to then make a prediction about who you think this boy is. Okay, think about what might happen next with this boy in the story. Is he going to be helpful? Is he not going to be helpful? Is he going to capture them? Is he going to be trustworthy? Is something going to happen to Sorrel? Is something going to happen to Fire Dragon? Is our story going to go in a potentially different direction? So I want you to make a prediction about what you think might happen now we've introduced this new character. So have a go writing down the answer to your questions and have a go writing down that prediction. And don't forget to send that work in, but you'll need your prediction when we come around to looking at this work tomorrow. Okay, good luck, year 5.